Good morning, I am Adam Harris, and this is The Day Ahead.
Go ahead and click subscribe below to receive daily market analysis videos and important alerts. On the economic calendar for today, we have the UK Parliament voting on Brexit and ECB's Draghi speaking at 3 p.m. The US dollar could be impacted by this volatility in the currencies, and the commodities show mainly oil as the clearest performer. In both the global indices and equities in focus, optimism and a bullish sentiment is seeing many charts breaching their resistance levels. You can jump to any chapter by clicking on the time link in the description below.
Right, currencies first, and starting off with that US dollar index that pulled back up into resistance. Bearish candle just broke the low and is busy hovering around there now, comparing that to euro against US dollar. Same thing, price pulled back into the moving averages. Nice little bullish candle, broke the high of that yesterday. I need to see that actually follow through and head away from that level of resistance. Now, of course, today, over the next 24 hours, we've got a lot of potential volatility on GBP pairs as the UK works its way through a vote related to the Brexit deal. And so there's a combination of anticipation, anxiety, and frustration around that. So potentially going to increase volatility on those pairs. So although sterling is very strong, certainly the last couple of days over that, or work days, excuse me, over in anticipation of that, could potentially result in a very dramatic move counter to that trend. So just I'm exercising great caution on GBP pairs as well as euro pairs. So I'm actually in on Swiss yen, having a look at the yen pairs. They've all triggered and then ultimately reversed. Now there's a very strong weekly and monthly rejection candle, so that's not entirely a surprise, but just keeping an eye on all the JPY charts that rejected the lows, coming back up. If we compare that to, say, Swiss yen as well, which is now put up on a weekly time frame, just to show that strong rejection of the lows there as well. But overall, the momentum indicator is looking nice and healthy. Price might potentially just retrace on a weekly basis before continuing down. Overall, the trend itself is relatively intact despite that strong rejection. So I'll be keeping an eye on those. In the commodities on the move, first one on my list is the weekly chart for gold, still sitting at that resistance level, still struggling to get through that, overdue for a retracement to come back down and test 450 for support, so no real change there. Silver the same. Silver actually setting up with that bearish candle, has not broken the low of that. I'll need to see that to have it reject that level of resistance. It's still stuck, wanting to be bullish, at the same time overdue for a retracement. So no trading opportunities anyway because it's not really moving. Palladium as well, still testing resistance, set up with a bearish candle here. Just broke the low by here and then actually still staying up here, so hasn't actually officially started its retracement process there either. And the oil's actually behaving a little bit better. We've got the US Brent oil fund back into the sell zone, producing that bearish weekly candle. That's good, and I'd like to see it also close a little bit below this level of support resistance to support the idea for shorting next week. Similar ETF's crude oil, I'll keep an eye on it. Actually gapped down, which means the weekly candle's bearish, but at the same time, I need to see it start to head a little bit lower as well. I want to see a weekly bearish candle, which it started out doing, but I want to see that continue to build. And then copper, which I was looking for shorting opportunities yesterday. I beg your pardon, that was orange juice. Orange juice ultimately just retraced back up after doing a couple of short moves to the downside. Is off my watch list for today, and then here copper, still waiting for this to roll over through this level of support. It hasn't done that just yet, so waiting on that to unfold. And that's it in terms of commodities today.
Onto the global indices, and this is where some of the interesting actions happening. Wall Street starting to push through its resistance level. Same behavior from the S&P 500 and the Tech 100, where it gets even more interesting. For me is the UK 100 here at a resistance level here. I'd really like to see it break these previous highs. That would be a significant move, and it's here ready to move through to the next level of resistance. Same thing when looking at the Germany 30. I really want to see, again, I want to see this start to break through the higher levels and potentially these previous highs to become a very significant change in behavior. Hong Kong is also starting to push through that level of resistance. That's good. It's tried it before, not got through it, but the strong divergence and bullish reaction indicates the probabilities are great that it's going to do it. I'd like to see it break these highs and hit up a little bit higher than that, starting to break through 28,000. Looks as though it's actually going to do that. And Australia, the ASX, the Australia 200, forming a very bullish swing low candle here off that support level. So interesting looking at the ones as we head away from the US. They were all looking very nice and bullish, and my expectation for those is to continue climbing today. With the selected equities in focus, just showing you Apple still looking very, very weak. This is a weekly time frame, just very lethargic, not much happening there compared to Amazon. So Apple and Amazon were performing really, really well over the last couple of quarters, and Amazon still looking pretty strong off its level of support, as well as being in the equilibrium zone, the moving averages, 10 and 20 moving averages. So it's forming. I still want to see it finish as a very strong bullish candle, but we see how that goes. This one not looking so bad so far. Then on to the more bearish equities that I've been keeping on my watch list here, just to show you the difference as well. EasyJet here forming a swing low for a historical level of support. There's no clear trend. It was in an uptrend. It's broken that uptrend, but still looking very keen on heading up much higher towards, say, 1300 or 1400 based off this behavior if it follows through on that. Lloyd's Banking as well, looking quite interesting. This one, very much attempting to form a strong level of support there and reject that level there. So I'll be looking for a swing low in February. But at the moment, that very strong bullish candle there giving an indication of a similar type of move up potentially towards 65. And BP, the last one on the list for today. BP also attempting to produce a strong bullish candle again. I'd like to see it finish or close towards the 540 level, and then see it get that high broken in February to get that swing low forming and to support the idea of a sort of longer term move to the upside. The rest of them either heading kind of sideways or staying pretty much in the same place. And so these are the ones of interest today. On that note, ladies and gents, I want to wish you a great day, and if it's trending, I'll be there. Just a reminder to hit the subscribe button. If you want to stay abreast of what's happening in the market, I'll be producing and bringing you the latest in the markets every morning in a freshly produced video.